Alright guys, today we're going to look at how to solve quadratic equations. The method we're going to use is called the square root method. To solve each of these equations, what we want to do is get x squared, n squared, a squared, whatever squared. We want to get the quadratic portion of the equation completely by itself, then take the square root of both sides of the equation and find our value. So in example 1, it's already done for us. The quadratic, or x squared, is completely by itself. This is the quadratic term. Everything else is on the other side. So all I need to do now is to solve for x. I'm going to use the square root method, which means I take the square root of both sides of this equation. When I take the square root of x squared, the exponent and the square root cancels out, and I'm going to keep x. So x equals the square root of 25. When we take the square root of something, know that we're going to get a positive and a negative answer. So there will actually be two answers to this. X equals positive square root of 25 and x equals negative square root of 25. In either case, the square root of 25 is 5, so x equals positive 5 and x equals negative 5. These are going to be our two answers. Quadratics typically have two answers. Sometimes there's only one and sometimes there's none, but typically every time you're solving a quadratic equation, you will end up with two answers. In example 2, we have n squared plus 3 equals 39. Again, our first job is to get the quadratic term completely by itself. This means I need to move the positive 3 away, and I do that simply by subtracting 3 from both sides. This is going to leave me with n squared equals 36. And if I take the square root of both sides, the exponent and the radical cancel, I keep n. So n equals plus or minus the square root of 36. This means that n equals positive 6. N also equals negative 6. Let's look at one more example. In example 3, I have 3v squared minus 6 equals 102. My goal is to get v squared by itself. So to do that, I need to move the 3 and the negative 6. I'm going to move the negative 6 first by adding 6 to both sides. When I add 6 to both sides, I'm left with 3v squared equals 108. Notice that v squared is still not by itself, so that means I have to get rid of the 3 now. To get rid of the 3, I need to divide both sides by 3. These will cancel, and I'm left with v squared equals 34. Hold on, 108 divided by 3. 36. All right, we're going to take the square root of both sides. So v equals positive or negative square root of 36. This means that v equals positive 6. It also equals negative 6. Alright guys, that is solving quadratic equations using the square root method. Have a great day.